We opened in May of 2013, so we've been here for a little bit over a year. We now have over 100 animals here at the property. We have alpacas and llamas, horses, goats, lots of pigs, and many birds of many varieties: ducks, turkeys, geese, chickens, roosters, guineas, and peafowl. Phoenix is a red star hen, and she came to Hope Haven this year, 2014. I think it was probably maybe February of 2014. She was surrendered to the Animal Rescue League, and someone, a Good Samaritan, had found her, and she was being mauled by some animal. We weren't told exactly what the animal was, whether it was a dog or a raccoon or a fox, but she went to the Animal Rescue League, and I was the veterinarian there at that time. So I went back to the back where she was dropped off to look at her, and the technicians that were there with her intake were concerned that she was suffering and she was going to probably die. So they had me come back probably to euthanize her. But when I met her, she just had a spark in her eye, and she looked terrible. She didn't have any feathers, and she was dehydrated, and she had many wounds, scratches, bites, things like that. But I didn't feel that she should be euthanized. I felt she wanted to live. So we treated her. We brought her to Hope Haven, and she was put in her little isolation cage here. We got her on pain medication. We cleaned her up. We fixed her wounds. She was on antibiotics, and she blossomed. She grew her feathers back after a molt, and she's been wonderful ever since. She is just a little peanut. She loves people. She will visit with all the tours. She gets along with all the other birds here. She's laying eggs, eating, having a good time. She's a great little bird. So we are thrilled that we did not choose to put her down, because she has a lot of life in her, and she really adds a lot to Hope Haven. Butters is a mini horse, and he came to us in the spring of 2013. He was an abuse case. When he was younger, we were told that he was a carousel pony, and after Butters was freed from that position, he was owned by someone who kept him and several other dozens of horses in a very large pasture and gave him absolutely no care. The horses were neglected terribly. They were never given any deworming medication. They were never groomed. They were never socialized. They never had their hooves trimmed or their teeth floated. So he was in very, very horrible condition when he was confiscated from that abuse situation. He has been with us for a little over a year now. He's doing amazing. He's a great little pony. He was very scared of people when he first came, but he has very much come out of his shell, as it were. And he's social, and he's fun, and he's sassy, and he has a lot of enjoyment with the other animals here. He hangs out with our two alpaca, Buddy and Jack. They're kind of a clique, and they have a lot of fun together. But he's a great horse, and he visits with people on the tours, and he's a gorgeous little guy, so we're thrilled to have him here. Gertie lives down at the big barn with the hooved stock and a duck and the turkeys. He had an injury to one of his legs, and we did take some x-rays of Gertie. Nothing was fractured, but we do suspect that he might have a slight dislocation of one of his hips. It wasn't a surgical repair that we could do, so we have him on anti-inflammatories, which are pain meds, and he's doing really well. He does have a very distinguished limp, which I think gives him a little flair, but he gets around. He loves the turkeys very much, which is an odd friendship because a rooster usually is very territorial and a little bit aggressive sometimes, and the turkeys came in and they kind of took over the barn, which Gertie was living in, but he loves them, and they groom each other, and he hangs out with them in their stall, and he's a great rooster. He's out for the tours. People can visit with him. You can always see him from the roadway because he's down there at the barn, and you can see his little hobble. He looks a little like a pirate with a peg leg, but he's on his meds. He gets around, he eats and drinks, and is very happy. So he's a great rooster.